Bye,
Okay.
Howard.
Here's Mark in South Carolina. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, Mark.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Judy. I just wanted to say that we saw you in concert here in Greenville, South Carolina.
Oh.
And you were fantastic.
Oh, just recently, right?
Yeah, my mom and I went, and first time I had seen you before, but it's the first time my mom got to see you, and she just fell in love.
Oh, I'm so glad.
I know, and I think it was 1979, you had an album called Hard Times for Lovers.
Yes.
And that's one of my favorite albums, but I noticed, did you get a lot of slack because the cover of the photo, I know that's I think said that was like your nude cover or something. Did people kind of think that was kind of odd, or did you get slack from it?
Now, how do you feel about it?
I loved it. I thought it was great.
How did you feel about it?
I loved it. I had some pictures taken that were very heavy and heavy makeup, and I said, I want to take it all off, and I did. And I worked with Francesco Scavullo, who is
a beautiful cover.
Such a beautiful artist, and I
best.
trusted him totally. And I'm glad I did it. I don't know if I would do it again.
Were you nervous before?
No. No. I had this thought while driving through Central Park, and that was it. So I called Francesco.
You mean you're driving through Central Park and you think to yourself, what?
I'm taking off all my clothes. Isn't that strange? And it was winter. It was winter.
I
It
had
wasn't
that
even
feeling
summer.
in the back of a Hansom cab with a young lady one night, but I didn't act it out.
You didn't follow through. No.
No, it's beautiful, though.
Thank you.
Okay,
It's, art transcends everything.
Yes,
right?
it does. Sometimes,
it's
too.
one of my favorite albums, and a beautiful cover, and your eyes
Thanks.
are just beautiful on the cover.
All right,
Thank you.
Mark, we're glad you called. Thank you. Here is Wanda in Nevada. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Wanda.
Hi, Wanda.
We really enjoy your show.
Thanks.
And thank you for the nostalgic music.
Don't you love it, though?
Oh, I love it.
You know, even the young folks who watch our show, and they are considerable in number, they truly enjoy hearing this music because to them it's something totally and completely new.
Well, it brings back fond memories.
Sure does.
Miss Collins, I've been wanting to ask this question of you for a number of years now. By the way, I enjoy your music, too.
Thanks, Wanda.
Did you and your brother have an act called the Collins Kids many years ago?
We had an act called the Collins Kids that we performed privately for my parents, and there were 5 of us. But we did not do it in public, that I remember.
Well, you would remember. No.
And if you saw ours, you would remember.
Well, I remember this one, too. But I certainly have enjoyed your music. And
Thanks
thank
a
you
lot.
so much for the entertainment.
Thanks,
Okay.
Wanda.
Thanks, Wanda.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Were you and your brother trouble for your parents when you were growing up?
Well, I have 3 brothers and a sister, and you know, my mother always says she raised 6 of us, including my father. We were a wild pack. We were describing the other day. My sister. We all had a big, huge family reunion in Wyoming this year, and there were 24 of us. And my brother Mike was saying, "You remember that trip where Mother was driving? You know, Daddy was blind. You know, my father did not see."
I did not know that.
So there were.
What was your dad's first name?
Chuck.
Chuck Collins.
Yes. And this was before, I think this was before my younger sister was born, and we were driving to Idaho in a car with 3 children, a cardboard keyboard, because I was memorizing Mozart concerto, a bird hanging in a cage, swinging and going tweet, tweet, and a Coco, a dog. And here was this exotic, eccentric...
Talk about lunch on the run.
Talk about an act, a brother and sister act. You know, it was pretty crazy around our house.
Uh-huh. And
a lot of fun, a lot of music, a lot of music.
It sounds wonderful, though. It really does.
Yeah, no, it was hysterical.
And I think it's marvelous that you all get together for these reunions and that the 24 of you get along and swap these stories.
You know, I'm very close to my brothers and my sister, and my mom is fantastic. And, you know, nephews and nieces and cousins and now grandchild. And we just have a wonderful time together. It was a wonderful time. And it's sweeter as you go along in your life, as you know. It's sweeter because you treasure those things more.
Well, as Garp said in The World According To, that I like to look back and be able to see the curve of my life and the path that it took. And you can only do that by maturing and aging.
That's true. And, you know, you may not know this, but we had a great tragedy. I lost my son a couple of years ago.
Yes, I know that.
And I do not, you know, it's strange. I said this recently to Joan Rivers, who was very, very helpful to me when he died. You don't think you're ever going to have any experiences that are going to be joyful again. And so part of what was so joyful about this year was the joy that we experienced together as a family. And you go on. And when you have that in your history of being together and getting together for the reunions and getting together to share, I mean, it's just marvelous.
Let me pick up on Dick in Denver, Colorado. Hi, Dick, you're on.
Oh, from my hometown.
Yep.
Yes, hello, Tom.
Hi, Dick.
And hello to you, Judy. I was really excited when I seen Judy going to be on your show this evening because I came home from boot camp for Christmas in late 1957, and on a return trip on the Denver Zephyr going back to Chicago. Judy, you were on that train. Do you remember that?
I sure do.
And you had your guitar.
Oh, my God.
Servicemen who were so lonely, thinking we were going back to boot camp. And you made a return trip riding through Iowa and across that country, a very enjoyable one.
Oh, yeah, we were all in the bar car singing away and ordering up before we got into Oklahoma, because they shut it down.
They shut it down in Oklahoma, that's correct.
Boy, did they shut it down, flat.
Yeah, and you made our trip really an enjoyable one because we all were very happy singing and you playing the guitar and entertaining us.
Oh, that's so sweet of you to remember that and to call.
And so you've always been a favorite because of that.
Thank you.
Great story, Dick. I'm glad you called. Thank you, my friend.
Yes, sir.
All right, bye-bye. It's curious to me that our conversation tonight begins with meeting Bob Dylan in a bar in Greenwich Village and closes with a soldier going back to boot camp in the bar car of the Denver Zephyr on the way to Chicago.
A parenthesis only.
Lady, next time you and I are together, we're going to get heavily into the cooking sherry.
No, I had my cooking sherry. Thanks,
okay.
Just the same.
This has been a wonderful experience for us here on the West Coast, and I hope it's been one for you as well. And I really thank you for coming on. I love you for it.
It's been great. And thanks, Tom. You're terrific.
So are you, Judy. Be well now.
Thanks.
Judy
God bless.
Collins, the new album, Judy Collins Sings Bob Dylan. Let me hear that band. The CNBC Orchestra plays us on to Dick Stolley and the first 20 years of People magazine. After these messages.